Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL. Thank you for joining me. A new fragrance has just joined my family, Emporio Armani's Stronger With You Parfum. I've been wearing this for about a day, so I'm going to share my thoughts. Stay tuned. I like the Stronger With You line. I think the original is very good. My favourites are Absolutely and Intensely. Also, love Tobacco, still need to pick that one up. Generally though, it's Absolutely and Intensely that seem to get the most hype. I think they're the ones that are most widely available. I've always thought the Stronger With You fragrances are a great designer fragrance because they offer something very wearable, something mass appealing, but also something interesting. They've got some depth, they've got a bit of creativity in there. They're fun, but they're also impactful. We get the toffee in Intensely, we've got the rum in Absolutely, and those notes just combine with that woody chestnut DNA of Stronger With You beautifully. So how about this new parfum? We don't have the sweetness of the toffee, we don't have the boozy rum in there, so does it have anything that gives it its own distinctive character? Well, here's what it does have in it: pink pepper, mandarin, lavender, sage, chestnut, vanilla and leather. I've been wearing this for about a day, and the first thing I noticed when I sprayed this was it didn't have the sweetness of Intensely and Absolutely, or the original. I like the sweetness in those fragrances, but I always thought that it gave it a youthful, more juvenile feel to them. Not to the point where I didn't enjoy wearing them, but it just had that sort of playful energy. This doesn't quite have that. It's a more mature leaning fragrance because that sweetness is dialed down. I think a lot of people will probably really like this fragrance because of that, because it doesn't have that juvenile sweetness. You can't have everything, and because it loses some of that sweetness, it loses some of that fun, playful qualities that the other Stronger With Yous have. But what it loses in that, it gains in a bit more of an assertive confidence. So I first sprayed this on, I was thinking, come on, Parfum, we've got this bold opportunity here. We can really create something good, Emporio Armani. I sprayed it and I was a little bit underwhelmed because I definitely got the Stronger With You DNA, but I did feel it lacked a bit of character that we get with Intensely, Absolutely, Tobacco. And I was thinking, where's the leather? Because if I'm told there's leather in a fragrance, I want that leather. I want a good leather. I want a robust leather that gives me some complexity and makes it an impactful fragrance. And it wasn't there at first, because as the day went on and I wore this fragrance, the leather nicely developed. We get this quite smooth leather. I won't call it a very rugged leather. It's certainly not a hard to wear, divisive type of leather. And it's paired with this slightly creamy, slightly sweet, warming vanilla. So it is a nice combination, this leather and vanilla. And it did reveal itself as the fragrance dried down. And I enjoyed this more and more as I wore it. So when you first spray it on, you do get that Stronger With You chestnutty, sweet, warming woods that kind of makes me think of the woody smell inside a sauna. I was in a sauna a few days ago and I thought, yeah, that sweet, warmed up wood smell does remind me a little bit of the Stronger With You DNA. So you get that, but strangely, this being a parfum, it feels a little more sort of dialed back than in the other Stronger With You fragrances. The chestnut didn't seem quite as prominent. There's obviously not as much sweetness in there, and that warming woods type of smell was there, but again, not as prominent as in, say, Intensely. I did feel though, as the fragrance dried down, those things did come out and I could smell them all really nicely. So when this settles down, it does become a really lovely fragrance. I'm just wondering whether this needs just a little more time in the bottle. I don't know how long fragrances are in a bottle before they get sent out, before they get sold to customers. I just feel like there's a really great fragrance just fighting to get out here. I feel like it just needs to settle into itself, just macerate a little bit more, mature in the bottle just that bit more, and I think we'll get something a bit richer, a bit more rounded, a bit deeper, and something that has just a little bit more character. I was secretly hoping that Emporio Armani might take a bit of a swing with this fragrance in the way that Dior did with Sauvage Elixir. They made a bold statement. They gave us something that we weren't expecting. When I heard there was leather in this, I thought, great, if we get this robust leather that really gives the fragrance some depth and muscularity, that would really suit me. So far, it isn't quite there, but we'll have to see as the weeks go by whether this fragrance changes or whether it just stays as it is. Let's talk about the performance of this. It's pretty good, actually. I feel like it's maybe not projecting as much. It doesn't have as much of a diffusive quality as Intensely and Absolutely because of the extra sweetness that they have. They're a little area as well. This one definitely does sit heavier, and because of that perhaps a little closer to the skin. It's really hard to gauge projection because we can't see the fragrance, we can't see how far out it radiates when we wear it. But just off wearing this for the last few hours, I feel like I'm not getting as much of a strong projection as with Absolutely and Intensely. It does, however, so far seem to have really good longevity. So it's easily going to last you all day. It just might not be massively projecting. As with Absolutely and Intensely, I would say for me, this is probably going to be an autumn wear, winter as well, although here in the UK, I could probably wear it on cooler spring days. Not really a summer fragrance for me, but autumn, winter, this will work really well. Price, this 100ml bottle is retailing at around £100. I actually paid more than that. I think it was 110. I think that is a lot to pay for a designer fragrance, but that's what a lot of designer fragrances seem to be costing these days. So I guess we just have to adjust for that. So not the cheapest fragrance, but not stupidly expensive to the point where you shouldn't consider smelling it. So to start to try and sum this up, I think you're going to get something that is very reminiscent of that Stronger With You chestnut woody DNA. So if you like that, I'm sure that you will like this. It's less sweet, so I think it would work better for maybe someone who wants a bit more of a mature smell. I feel like this fragrance takes itself more seriously than the other Stronger With You. So if you want a bit more of a grown-up version, then the Parfum's definitely worth looking into. It's a decent release. For me at the moment, it's a like, not a love. It could become a love if anything changes and develops as I start to wear this over the next few weeks. If you own other Stronger With Yous, Absolutely and Intensely, it's really difficult to say whether you need this one as well, whether it's redundant. I think what you need to do is go into a store, have a smell and see what you think. That's gonna be a decision that you have to make. I can't tell you about that. So I'd say not a rush out and buy ASAP, but next time you're casually walking past a department store, pop in, give it a sniff, see what you think. So I am so far enjoying this, me not being the youngest guy out there. I mean, you know, not the oldest guy out there, but you know, not the youngest guy. So this is really working for me. Sitting here in my leather jacket, smelling of that nice smooth leather with that vanilla. It's working for me, so I'm really looking forward to wearing this more over the next few weeks. I'll come back in a future video and let you know if my opinions have changed. Will it move from I really like to a love? Have you tried this yet? I'd love to hear what you think of it. Drop your opinions down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, please drop a like. It really helps. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you do all that, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.